Let's talk a little bit about the angle that really sold this pay-per-view. The Monday prior is a big show. It's the September 9th Nitro, the go home Nitro before this pay-per-view. And there's a limo outside. It's raining. $1 Million Man's out there with his umbrella. And Lex Luger is wanting to know who's in this limo, because we assume it's the NWO. And we hear Sting's voice coming from a limo. DiBiase gets out, Luger's there, and we hear Sting say something like, "I'm tired of this stuff, this DTA stuff. Don't trust anybody. He's got to go. You know why? You better learn to trust somebody right now. You've got no way out. It's either you trust him or you don't. Look at me in the eye. You know, I look at you guys and you know, you can trust him." And then of course, Sting attacks Lex Luger. And this is a really, really cool angle. I remember watching this live when it happened, thinking, what the hell am I seeing? Hulk Hogan and Sting are bad guys now? I got to buy this damn pay-per-view. Now, of course, the War Games is supposed to be the original three members of the NWO, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and a fourth man against what we believe to be not just the Four Horsemen, which maybe was the original idea, but now it's Rick and Arn, the two sort of stalwarts of the Horsemen, and Sting and Lex Luger, the franchise baby faces of the organization. And of course, in reality, this isn't Steve Borden. It's Jeff Farmer, who's previously wrestled in WCW as Cobra, and he's dressed up like Sting. And this entire week, a lot of fans, myself included, thought, holy shit, Sting's finally a bad guy. I can't believe this is real. How did who first realized, hey, Jeff Farmer under the paint with the right tights and boots and jacket, he could pass for Sting. Whose idea is that? Who sees that in Jeff Farmer?
God, I knew you were going to ask me that question. I've been trying to find Jeff Farmer. I was with Jeff. We had lunch together in Tokyo, right in a restaurant right next to the Tokyo Dome, back in February. And we, reminisce and I wish I would have asked him, where that idea really originated, because as we've said here before, most ideas are a collaboration,
right?
Somebody says, hey, what if we do this in red? Oh, what if we do it in blue? Well, let's do it in red and blue. Hey, purple's great. But this is such a important pivot point in this story, the fake Sting, that what I'm going to do, I promise you, by next week, I'm going to have the answer. In fact, I may even petition. I know we don't do interviews on this show. I may even petition that we ask Jeff Farmer to join us for just a few moments and describe how that all went down, because I always want to, it wasn't my idea. Let me make that clear. It would be really easy for me to say, oh, I did that. It wasn't my idea. Somebody came to us. When I say us, I mean the creative team, and said, hey, this might work. Now, it could have been Terry Taylor, could have been Kevin Sullivan, could have been Jeff Farmer himself. I don't know. But rather than saying, I don't know, I want to get to the bottom of it. And if it's possible to have Jeff, in his own words, enlighten us as to how that really happened, because so often, like we talked about before, people remember things different ways. And some of it is just because time has passed. And you tell the same story over and over and over again, or you give the same answer over and over and over again. And you tend to try to find ways to make it a little more interesting than the way you told it last time. And sometimes that kind of forces you or creates a situation where you're kind of veering off the factual path a little bit. And I don't want to do that with this. So I'm going to say, for the record, I don't know. It wasn't my idea, but we will get to the bottom of it. And hopefully next week we'll talk about it.
Really, really great stuff. Go out of your way to watch this. This build is just phenomenal. And you're putting over, that this is the most disappointing thing you've seen in, your 6 years with WCW. You're doing a great job selling it here on commentary, as everybody is. And it sold me on the pay-per-view. This was my first pay-per-view purchased back as a wrestling fan. I didn't decide to pick up SummerSlam or Hog Wild, or In Your House Mind Games for the competition here in September, but I did not miss this one, man. And it was this angle that helped sell it. I am curious though, were there other ideas for the sort of fake Sting concept before, or is this really the first time you had heard it? Because it does feel like something that, you know, with the Black Scorpion being attempted before you were really there, maybe it could have been a retread, but it could have also been, you know, a bizarro Sting type thing that we had seen before with the Undertaker and the Underfaker and that type of thing.
It was the first time I had heard it. Now, I was aware of the Black Scorpion because it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek, you know, joke that I had heard. It happened before I got to WCW originally, but nonetheless, the legend of the Black Scorpion lived on as a punchline. So I was aware of it as a result of that. But the idea, you know, the way it was presented, again, I can't wait to find out exactly where it started, but the way it was presented to me felt fresh, and it was a good idea. I mean, we knew the reason we did it is because we had looked at Jeff in his fake Sting gear. We knew that we could fool the audience. You know, by that time, Sting's hair had grown dark. You know, he wasn't bleaching it blonde anymore. You know, physically they were very, very close. And because of the face paint, it wasn't that difficult to pull this off. And when we saw Jeff Farmer in his fake Sting gear, it was like, holy shit, we can make this work. And even going back and watching this for the first time, you know, because it was, you know, part of the cold open of the pay-per-view, I went, what the hell? Probably much like you did. Because again, my mind wasn't thinking, where are we at? What's the storyline? I didn't immediately call back to where we were at Fall Brawl of 96. So when I saw that in the cold open, I'm thinking, what in the hell were we doing? Where? And then after, you know, a few seconds, it all kind of fell into place and made sense. But if you put Jeff Farmer in his Sting gear and Sting in his Sting gear side by side, from 10 feet away, you'd be hard pressed to pick them out unless you knew them both really, really well. And with, you know, camera work and lighting and so forth, we knew we could pull it off. So it was, yes, I knew about the Underfaker and I knew about the Black Scorpion. I knew about all that stuff, but to me, there was no risk of falling into either of those categories.
It's amazing to me too, that when you really think about it, you know, the WWF is going to get crapped on so hard for this whole fake Razor, fake, Diesel thing. But they don't even sort of tease that until Friday of that week. But that Monday, you're presenting your own fake Sting right away. So you're beating them to the punch and you're doing it much more effectively because nobody hated this. This was very, very well done. And